Let's start off with, I'm going to say it, Deathloop is not accessible. And it's disappointing. Yeah, Deathloop's accessible now. Hi, I'm Steve Saylor, I'm blind, and if you're wondering how I'm able to play video games if I'm blind, if you take a look at the video here and the video is not there, click the link in the description down below to see exactly what I see when I'm playing video games. Also, I encourage you to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button to see more of my videos, and hit the bell notification icon too. So, yeah. About that video, things have changed in the 8 months since Deathloop has been released. Namely in point that the developers at Arcane Studios took that time to create a huge suite of accessibility options and game updates to allow disabled players to be able to play Deathloop. I'm pulling this from an article that Ben Bayless wrote on caniplaythat.com. The title of the article is Deathloop Game Update 3 Introduces Accessibility Improvements and Additions. Arcane Studios announced today that its time-looping first-person shooter Deathloop has a new update that does a bunch of photo mode magic, and those looking for accessibility will be pleased to know that the game has received updates in this area as detailed by the official PlayStation blog post. With over 30 improvements, hear me correctly, 30 improvements! Players can expect to see menu navigation improvements, interface options, and gameplay options. There's also a dedicated accessibility section implemented into the options menu. Arcane Studios was listening to the accessibility community because according to lead UI and UX designer, I'm going to so butcher this name, I am so sorry, Johan Bozag, or Bozag, or Bozage, I'm so sorry. Anyway, I'll leave a link to his Twitter down below. He said, we took the time to read all the accessibility reviews and watch the videos of players explaining why they couldn't play Deathloop. We then worked on a document listing all of the feedback and drew up a roadmap of what the additions would be for Game Update 3. And boy, howdy did they listen. They listened to every single accessibility issue that I had mentioned in my video, plus every other review for accessibility in Deathloop. They basically just created a master list document and they just basically picked up one at a time and added in a ton of accessibility updates. You want to know how much there actually is in this? Let me break down the entire list of the Deathloop accessibility updates in update number 3. There's a lot. Strap in. Menu navigation both using the thumbsticks and D-pad. You can change the speed of the menu cursor. You can actually launch the accessibility menu when you first launch the game. An actual accessibility menu, which wasn't in the previous version of the game. You can adjust the subtitle size, color, opacity, and speaker tag. You can even customize the color of speaker tags for Colt, Juliana, the Visionaries, and other NPCs. You can change the subtitles to all dialogue so that every single environmental dialogue that the player is nearby to hear can be able to actually hear, including some of the NPC environmental dialogue. You can change the crosshair size. You can change crosshair color, including when the reticle is hovering over an enemy. You can change the HUD size. You can change the hacking VFX size. You can have an icon display when you're crouched, which helps those who are with cognitive disabilities display handwritten fonts in a normal font. You can change the number of reprises from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, or infinite in single player only. Full aim assist to lock in single player. You can change hacking from hold to toggle. You can change the aiming from hold to toggle. You can do one-shot kills in single player. You can change the combat difficulty from lenient, default, or harsh in single player. You can even change the lock loop stress, where the game will automatically adjust difficulty based on players' success in killing visionaries, leading to increased difficulty when multiple visionaries have been killed in the same loop. You can adjust the game speed from 100% to 75 or 50%, and it can be activated via a toggle. You can pause the game while accessing the weapon wheel. You can even tag multiple enemies in single player based on where they are located in relation to the player. And also, actually, in a previous update in November 2021, you can change the motion blur and field of view settings. The That's a lot. And let me tell you, those updates helped me play this game. I have been playing this all weekend long. I have now played this game for about 12 hours at this point, all from both Saturday and Sunday, and I absolutely love this game now. I always understood why people like Deathloop, but now I can actually understand fully because I can actually play it and enjoy the level design and the way that Arkane created these puzzle elements for like how to be able to kill the visionaries and do it all within one loop, and investigating areas and finding clues to different aspects of the visionaries to find out where they are and located, and getting the most efficient sort of loop you can. I understand all of that now because I am able to play this game. Now, I know that is a lot, and you may not understand fully as to every single option I mentioned, how that benefits disabled players. And if you're watching my videos, whether you're a disabled player yourself or you watch it because you learn more about accessibility from me, I want to be able to emphasize this one point that I think can speak to everybody. I want to emphasize how big of a deal this actually is. We have not seen a game release this much of an accessibility update after a game is launched ever. We've had games that have launched accessibility updates after launch, but nothing to this extent. I think the only game that comes close in my mind was Ghost of Tsushima, with every single update for a year, always added more and more accessibility. And if there's a game that has done more than Deathloop, please let me know. Reply or leave a comment. Let me know, and I'll definitely check it out. But I want to emphasize how big of a deal this is. And I also want to admit when I was wrong. In the previous video in September about accessibility for Deathloop, I mentioned that there are some fundamental aspects of the game that add an extra challenge to the game that I thought was fundamentally part of the Arkane experience that they wanted to be able to create. And use a case in point, the reprisals, the amount of times you can die before you have to loop back to the beginning again. I had thought that that was sort of a core aspect of the time loop story they were creating, and they basically said, no, that's secondary. We just want people to play a time loop story and enjoy the levels we created, because there are some amazing level design in every single area that you go into. And like, there is so much there that is still enjoyable to a player. That's the experience that Arkane wanted with Deathloop. Everything else, and case like this, the accessibility update proves that. And it proves that they wanted as many players as possible to play their game. And that's all disabled players want. We just want the ability to be able to play a game that our friends are playing. And we want everybody to be able to play at whatever game they feel like that they want to be able to play. And Arkane was like, yep, we're going to do that. Now, does this fix everything for accessibility? No, there are definitely some aspects of the game that are still need to be addressed. The fact that there is no text narration for blind low vision players. There are still some audio sound effects that there is no visual indicators for that benefits deaf and hard hearing players. There is a lot that has to be memorized and learned through the evidence and the leads and the time loops and the times of day. That's a lot to keep track of for those with cognitive disabilities. Also, as well, for motor disabilities, it can be difficult to be able to remap controls on a controller. You can do that, but there are so many buttons that are tied to single presses or holds that you can't be able to fully customize it the way you want as you would with a mouse and keyboard, which you can do on a PC. You can fully remap everything. But as far as the limitations of a controller, there's still that people with motor disabilities won't be able to play on controller. So there's definitely some aspects that can be addressed, and I hope that Arkane was like, you know what, we'll add those on too in update 4 or 5, whatever. But I just like, it is so great to be able to see a studio that cares about accessibility enough to be like, you know what, we made a mistake. We want as many players as possible to play our game, so we're going to do this. And they dedicated so much effort to be able to make this happen. Is it still better to be able to include accessibility as part of the design process when the cost and the resources are low, and it's a little bit easier to be able to add those in? Yes, that is still the best way to be able to go about accessibility. But from a post-launch standpoint, I got to give props to Arkane. They became one of my new favorite studios because of this update. And I know that's a lot, and I've already kind of made this video even longer, but I want to end on this. That, yeah, Deathloop is accessible. And I'm really happy. So that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any questions or anything about the game, please let me know in the comments down below, and I'll try to get to as best I can. I'm terrible at answering comments. I apologize. It's a lot for me, and there's I just a lot of spoons to be able to answer comments. I apologize, but please leave a comment if a question if you have any, and I'll try to answer as best I can. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It'll definitely help bring this video to more people, and so they can be able to see what great things Deathloop is for the accessibility community. If you want to be able to see more of my videos, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell notification icon too to be notified when new videos come up. And also, I have this new thing on my videos. There's a little thanks button on my YouTube videos where you can be able to kind of like sort of support me financially by adding donating a few dollars here and there. That can be able to help me out as well. If you want to be able to support me financially in what I do, please click the thanks button down below. You can be able to do that for pretty much all my videos. So thank you so much. And as always, I remain obediently yours. I'm gonna go play some more Deathloop. Bye.